Hi, welcome to Saturday Training. My name is Steve Kuchin. I'm a holistic health practitioner here in San Diego, California. And before I start, I'd like to get some housekeeping out of the way. The statements made in this presentation have not been evaluated by the FDA. Nothing on this presentation should be construed as diagnosing, prescribing, or treating disease. It is presented for education only. We must legally warn you that if you're ill, have any disease, are pregnant or nursing, you should consult your medical doctor before attempting any natural or herbal program. Very good, folks. Now I want to talk today about, I'm going to do two things. We're going to talk today about our coffee, our new coffee, and then I want to talk about sales and how to make sales, happy sales. And my wife presented me with something really extraordinary, and I'm going to be sharing a video with you today, which I hope you'll enjoy. So now the coffee, okay? Now I'll just show you my journey with this a little bit here. So what occurred was Josh sent me the coffee, but he sent me a special Ziploc bag that had coffee that had no frequencies in whatsoever, nothing, just the coffee. And then of course he sent me the Epicas, I should say. Yeah, it's called Epicas. The pronunciation is on the E. Epicas. The Epicas coffee. Now this coffee is the first run, and it had the frequencies in it. So now, get this, guys. This is now around 6 o'clock at night on a Friday night. Now, I really am anxious. I just went to the post office. I'm in my little postal unit there, got my stuff, came back, and I opened up the box, and I wanted to try it. Of course, just me trying it is not enough. But my wife has a problem with coffee if she drinks it after 4 o'clock. So what I did was I just basically threw my wife on the sword. I was so excited to try this coffee. I said, honey, if I make you some coffee, can you taste it a little bit? Okay. So I made 2 cups of coffee, one without the frequency and one with the frequency. Personally, I tried it. I couldn't believe it. The taste, the depth of the flavors, the tones in the coffee, it was unbelievable for me. And then I kept quiet myself, and I gave it to my wife, and she says, "Are you sure that's the same coffee? I can't believe it's the same coffee." That's the first thing that she said to me. You see, and I was talking to Josh about this, and what it is that I have never tasted our youth crystals without the imbued frequency in the youth crystals. Youth crystals are these things that are made out of baobab fruit, rooibos tea, acerola cherry, and we have L-lysine, proline, and glycine in there, the main constituent elements that making collagen, right? So that's our youth crystals. And I've been taking your youth crystals for 2 years, but I've never had the youth crystals by themselves without the frequency. But the coffee difference was amazing. So I didn't want to torture my wife too much that evening. So I let her sleep. A little bit worried about her sleep. In the morning, I talked to her and I said, "How do you sleep?" She says, "You know, if I didn't have to get up and go to pee halfway through the night, which she normally does, I would have slept right through." So this for her is unheard of. She just smells coffee after 4 o'clock, and she can't sleep that evening, right? So now this is the morning of the coffee. I want to do a real test now. So I went. I had an appointment first to the dentist. I went to the dentist. I came home, and I came home. I walked in the living room. My wife was sitting, and her eyes were red. She was almost ready to cry. She was importing. She's an MLMer herself. She was importing her large list that was like 2,800 email list into another functional app that she bought the app, $2,700 app with her partner to get automatic mail out, and it's sort of like a MailChimp, right? 3 days she's been going through hell. I mean, she's stressed out the kazoo, and she was near the breaking point. I looked at her. I said, "What's happening?" And she says, "I'm just at my wit's end." I said, "Okay," but my concentration. I mean, I was like in empathy towards her and her situation, but my concentration was, okay, I gotta try this coffee full blown and see what it does for the body. So I said, "Honey, can I make you a cup of coffee?" And she says, "Yeah, go ahead." So I went and did, but I did bulletproof coffee this time. And what I did was I put MCT oil, 1 tablespoon of MCT oil, and 1 tablespoon of butter, and then you blend this in the blender, high-speed blender, right? And into the coffee, and I had her try it. She drank the coffee. It went down fine. So I watched her, and as soon as she's finished the coffee, I asked her, "Well, how are you? How are you feeling?" She said to me, she says, "I feel better." I said, "Honey, take a look at me." I looked at her. Her eyes were clear. I could feel her space. It was calm. So immediately, me being a nerd type practitioner, I want to get down to the nitty gritty of it. I slapped a blood pressure cuff on her arm. The readings were 113 over 71, and her BP was 74. Usually, I expected it because of the stressful situation and stuff. She'll be like in the 120s or 130s because she's normally runs around 115, so something like that. No. So actually, physiologically, what happened was that the coffee calmed her mind. It probably, I'm surmising this, serotonin and dopamine was upregulated, and she felt better. And it didn't elevate her BP at all. I was, like, for me, I was actually stunned.